Welcome to Leading from the Future with your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon, the prophet you can trust. Listen, we are here to bring to you inspiration mixed with revelation, because once people go through things and they overcome them, guess what? They get revelation on what happened or what they need to do better or how they can prevent themselves from doing it again. You've heard the old adage that says, if you fool me once, okay, we'll forgive you, but fool me twice, listen, we must be doing something crazy, all right? Because you're not going to be able to do it. Now, listen, we want to make sure that you lean in and hear these stories, these riveting stories of how people become what they've become, what they've had to overcome, what they had to go through. There's no straight line to success. There's a lot of curves. There's a lot of twists. There's a lot of resilience and overcoming, and you can't quit, cave in. Don't give someone else your power. That's why we bring these stories unto you, so that you can hear one word, one story, one prayer, one something that'll get you some hope, helping others pursue their expectation. And that's why we call it Leading from the Future. We don't ever want to be behind, because if we're behind, we missed it. We missed you. But we want to be ahead of you so that you can come on and reach your destiny and reach whatever God has planned for you. And we understand everyone's different. Everyone's got a different calling. Everybody can't be on the stage. I get it. Some people's got to be back there cooking. Somebody got to open the door. Somebody's got to be the one to be your two, remind you. All right. But whatever your purpose is, we believe that everyone is born for a purpose. If you find your purpose, you can live your life. And once you live your life, then you can leave a legacy. Well, every show we always go and bring together some of the most powerful speakers, entrepreneurs, business owners, doctors, preachers. Listen, it's a blend of an amalgamation of backgrounds, and we never, ever, ever disappoint you. You know that. You always talk about how exciting these people are, the inspiration that comes from them. Well, we've done it again. Yeah, we have. We brought to you another dynamic woman of God. She's out here making things happen, not just talking, but doing the walk of her talk. Who am I talking about? Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, ladies and gentlemen. She's a dynamic leadership speaker and ambassador of peace. Nothing missing, nothing broken. She equips individuals and organizations to lead with clarity, with confidence, with conviction. Yeah, with a voice that carries both wisdom and authority. That's right. She helps people break through the internal barriers that may stop them, so that she can help restore alignment and step fully into their purpose. You know what her message is? It's rooted in empowering leaders just to operate with integrity, emotional intelligence, and spiritual awareness, while cultivating environments of unity and lasting impact. I've been watching her and checking her out, and whether she is speaking to leaders or to communities or global audiences, Dr. Moseley brings a message that does not just talk, but it inspires, it cultivates you to want to do something. It activates transformation, and it produces results. She is not only a speaker, she's a bridge builder. That's right, a culture shifter and a voice of peace all over the world. In times like this, you need the ambassador. Would you please welcome to the stage, first time on our Leading from the Future, Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley. Welcome, woman of God.
Thank you, Dr. Pastor Shannon. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here today. I've been waiting for this evening.
Thank you. We always ask people when we first open it up the same thing so that we can get this breaker. And the first question we ask people, where were you born? Right? Who's your mom? Who's your dad? What high school did you go to? And then who is Dr. Theresa without all the titles?
So I was born at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. My dad was in the Army for 27 years. I am the proud daughter of the late Hazel Moseley and my father, the late Clarence Moseley. I went to Terry Sanford High School, and tomorrow I'll be going to North Carolina for my 50th, that's right, 50th high school reunion.
Wow.
So I'm so excited. Who am I?
50th.
50th, that's right.
That's exciting.
I am a woman of God. I
Hmm.
am peace. I am light. I am love. I am who I am. I am my authentic self.
Woo! See, that's called 24 karat gold bars all out the gate. All right. She's already dropping them, and I love it. No doubt about it. Now, you have the title of Ambassador of Peace. Talk to us how that came about for you being the Ambassador of Peace, and why peace?
I was I was speaking in Paris about 4 years ago, and a lady heard me speak and she said, "Your business is TAM, Creating Ambassadors of Peace?" I said, "Yes, I created my company because I lost two students to violence." And I
Mm,
saw the same lady in New York about 3 years ago, and she says, "I'm a United Nations Peace Ambassador. And I
mm.
think you would be great. You have to be vetted. We've already vetted you. You have to go through training. And after that, you get a certificate and you'll get a badge and an ID and you will become a United Nations Peace Ambassador." And I said, "Well, that fits with my brand." Yes. But why they call me the peacemaker is because as a high school principal, when I lost two students to violence, I started a campaign for no more violence.
Oh,
One
wow.
school, one community, one county at a time, one city, one state, one nation at a time. And when I retired, I just leveled all the way up. I said, okay, I'm not just going to speak nationally or locally, I'm going to speak internationally on peace. So that's
Wow.
why they call me the peacemaker.
The peacemaker. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? And it fits her so well, of the peacemaker. So when did you first realize that you were called to speak and even lead at this level?
Oh, that's a story. My great grandmother told me it must have been 1965. I was 7 years old. And
Hmm.
she said, T, she called me T, your gift is your voice. And one day you're going to use it to help people. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be a singer, right?
Yeah.
I would get the 45s, the Jackson 5, the Diana Ross, and sing those songs every Friday, go to the record store. That was me in the 60s, right? But it wasn't. It was my voice in speaking and writing. And it was when I lost those kids, I went to a master's class, and the teacher said to me, Theresa, what is your gift? I said, well, my grandmother said my gift was my voice. And now I know it's my voice in speaking and writing. And she
Mm.
said, what is your passion? I said, let me think about that. I served in the military. I served in the church choir. I served in the Girl Scouts. I served in the student council into high school. I served my schools when I was a high school principal. My passion is serving others. Then she said, so what do you think your purpose is? I said, I know what my purpose is. It's to make this world a more peaceful place because that's what the world needs.
Needs is more peace. I believe that Michael Jackson said that as well. He put it all in a lot of his songs. So here you are walking that out in principle. So what does peace mean then? What does peace truly mean to you in today's world? And maybe people also can hear it.
There's world peace and there's inner peace. And here's what I've learned it all starts with the soul.
Mm,
See, everybody has a soul, and in that soul is your gift. And this is like Japanese philosophy around Ikigai philosophy around purpose. And
mhm.
I believe in that gift, that's something that the world needs. Like my gift is my voice, and the world needs peace. So that's what I'm going to speak about. And if
Yes.
you're really passionate about that, of what you do, then that's your divine assignment, then that's your purpose. And if you're blessed enough to have something that the world needs and you're passionate about it, and you can actually get paid to do it, you will find success, fulfillment, prosperity, and inner peace. What's that scripture? Jeremiah 29, you are meant here to prosper, right?
That's
And the
right.
other thing is when you have that inner peace, this is what peace means to me. Peace means living in your purpose. And when you have that inner peace because you're living in your purpose, There will be love around you, not hate. There will be peace, not war. There will be hope, not fear. Can't you see how all of that is peace? Oh, yes.
Wow. Can't you see how all of that is peace? What about people that are struggling, with chaotic stuff going around them? How do they maintain peace internally when all of that chaotic stuff is around them?
I am so glad you asked that question because I just finished like 10, 15 minutes ago, Whispers of Serenity,
Mm,
daily affirmations for peace. People that are in a chaotic situation, whether it's at home or school or work, find at least 30 minutes a day.
mm.
You go into a quiet place. Don't listen to the noise. Tune it out. Even if you can read something that's positive, and whatever happened that day, that week, that month, it could have been a death of a family member. It could have been you lost your job. It could have been many things. But you can find peace within if you just go to a quiet place. And this book has 42 authors, and everybody has a different perspective, a different mantra, right? And
Yeah.
so read positive things like that to help quiet that noise.
Wow, I like that. Positive things like that to quiet the noise. What from your experience, what are some of the biggest barriers people face out here today in trying to live in peace?
They think that their past is they're living in the past. They're
Mhm.
letting their past define them. Number one, your past does not define who you are. God defines who you are. You have to discover that you've got something in you. That's why you were born, right? The
Mhm.
second thing is allowing other people to tell you what you should have, could have, would have been doing. No, God tells you what you should have, could have, would have been doing. It even happened to me. I haven't always been the most successful person because I was too busy listening to all the noise. Oh, you too short. You can't do this. Oh, you shouldn't be in the military. Or you know what? You need to do X, Y, and Z. No, listen to your heart. So the two things that get people stuck is living in the past
Mhm.
and letting people tell them what they should, could, would have been doing. Mhm.
Wow, living in the past and allowing others to tell them what they could or should be doing. That is so good. That's 24 karat gold bars, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all need to write that down for sure. Now, how did you, or let me say this first before I ask that question. How do you help leaders, right, move from pressure to peace without losing productivity?
Well, the first thing that I do is I ask a question.
Mm.
What are you passionate about? And if they tell me I don't know, then I know there's a problem, right? But someone tell me what they're passionate about. And then
Mhm.
I say, okay, what does that look like in terms of using your gift? What's your gift? Then they'll tell me that, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll say, well, let's develop a blueprint. So I'm not going to tell you as a coach, I don't tell you what to do because when you tell somebody what to do, if it don't work, they're going to blame you.
They
But I
showed
tell
you.
them to discover on their own what they need
Mhm.
to do to make this gift and purpose come to fruition.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, listen, everybody. I told you we don't disappoint. Listen, if you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Leading from the Future with our special guest, Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley. We're going to take a quick break right here because I want you to see her in action. I want you to see what she do on stages and whatnot. I want you to check her out so you can see she don't just talk the talk, she walk the walk, and we'll be right back.
Hi, greetings. I am Her Excellency Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, a United Nations Peace Ambassador, a U.S. Army veteran, and owner of TAM, Creating Ambassadors of Peace. I'm an international keynote speaker, and I provide training on leadership. Would you like to improve your culture and climate, or would you like to build the capacity of your leadership team? I have just the training for you. Essential soft skills for effective leadership. I can teach you how to improve on empathy, integrity, communication, emotional intelligence, adaptability, collaboration. Contact me. Click on the QR code below or contact me at creatingambassadorsofpeace.com. Once again, that's creatingambassadorsofpeace.com.
Well, all right, we are back. Did you see that, man? I'm telling you, she's everywhere. She's got pictures of her stuff. Oh my goodness. Listen, you want to definitely follow Miss Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, all right, and blow her up and get inspired, all right, no matter who you are. Now, before the break, we were talking about that peace and all that people need in pursuing peace. Now, here's the question I have for you, for ladies that will be listening, and even some men that will be listening, because when people get into crisis or divorce or whatnot, they lose their identity. So, what role does identity play in becoming an effective leader or a person who needs peace?
That's part of discovering who you are and your purpose. You have to be your authentic self, And I have a short story I could tell you behind that. I used to be a high school principal.
Mm.
People used to send me the allegedly bad kids. I don't think there's any bad kids. Kids just go through things. And a lot of them were locked up and couldn't go back to their school. So they would send them to me. There was a guy, 6'3", really tall, slim, with his mom, just got out of lockup and said, we can't go back to our school, so we need to come to yours. I said, well, did you get college? Did you get high school credit? He said, yeah. I said, do you have your transcript? He said, no, make this short. And so I said, well, I can't really admit you unless I know what grade you're in. And he put his head, and I said, okay, let me change this. So I said, how are you feeling? And he told me, I don't know what I'm feeling.
Wow.
I said, okay, what are you passionate about? And he stood up and said, I like to draw. I said, oh, you're an artist?
Ah.
Yeah. I said, here's paper and pencil. Can you draw me what you're feeling? He drew a broken heart with tears in it. I looked at him and I said, Mom, your son is a brilliant artist. I said, this is his key to generational wealth. This is key to leaving a legacy for your family. I said, son, own your art studio. Own your own art studio. Have an apartment upstairs. Paint all day. I said, this is your gift. I said, now you just drew a broken heart with tears in it. That broken heart is you, isn't it? He said, how did you know? I said, I have the gift. I'm a seer. I said, but tell your mother what all those tears mean. Not getting art supplies when I was 2, 3, 4. That's how long he's been drawing. Being blamed for everything because he was the oldest. And not playing basketball because he was 6'3". I said, Mom, he's not a basketball player. He's an artist. Dr. Pastor Shannon, it took me 15 minutes to discover his gift, his passion, and his purpose. That's just what I do.
I love it. That's just what she do, ladies and gentlemen. She broke it down, and that, I tell you what, she brought purpose to that young man, where many have already labeled so many people because they don't know the right questions to ask. But here, the ambassador piece, asking the right questions, changed the trajectory of that man's life. Come on, somebody. Y'all know that's God all day long. Now, what is one leadership principle you believe that most people misunderstand?
Integrity and trust. Trust is more than just doing what you say you're going to do. Trust is being benevolent. Trust is active listening. Trust is being understanding. Trust is having empathy and not just having compassion. Compassion, you can feel sorry for someone, but having empathy is being able to feel what someone else is feeling. And a lot of leaders miss the mark because trust is more than just doing what you say you're going to do. It's a whole part of your life that you have to be a person who is benevolent, who is an active listener, who is compassionate, who is caring, who has emotional intelligence, who's adaptable, who's flexible. And that's leadership. And so for those people that are struggling with that, then they need to recognize, okay, this is what I need to do, because in order for you to lead someone to lead their future, you have to get yourself together.
Wow. And I'm sure, as you stated in your journey thus far, that a lot of people think that you just woke up one day and got here. But of course, you've had to overcome a lot of things. What has been one of the, I guess I would say, what has been one of your greatest personal challenges, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, yes. So like I said, my dad was in the military for 27 years. So we all military take care of their people. Always had a place to stay, medical insurance. I joined the military, place to stay, medical insurance, made money. But when I got out of the military, I didn't have a plan. I
Mm.
didn't. I knew I wanted to go to college, but not right away. So I ended up going to Southern California. I got a roommate. I went to Carolina to see my dad, who was sick. He had emphysema. When I came back, my roommate moved. I
Oh,
was homeless. I had no place to. I rode a city bus all day. I
what?
was 24 years old, and I looked 16 when I was 24. And the bus driver said, "Young lady, where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to Leisure World." He said, "Wow, that's an old folks retirement community." I saw the globe, so I thought it was Disneyland, right? So, he drove me back to, it was Orange, California. There was a mall, but I was born and raised in a Baptist church, and I
Mm.
began to pray because the Bible said, "Knock and the door shall be open." All right, ask and ye shall receive. I said,
Yeah.
"God, if you please, I have no place to go. I have $50 to my name." This was 1981. I said, "You help me out of this situation, God. I will help somebody in need. I just cannot stay on this park bench tonight." And when I opened my eyes, I saw the church, at Robert Schuller's Crystal Palace Cathedral, and I
Wow.
saw the club. I saw the church, and I saw the club. It was 9 o'clock at night, so the church was closed. So I went to the club. But guess what? My guardian angel was in that club, and I
Wow.
found a place to stay for 3 days. And after 3 days, I prayed. I prayed and I fasted. I had to fast because I didn't have any money. I prayed and I fasted. And after that third day, I figured it out. I figured it out. I did call my mom, and she said, "Girl, you better figure it out. Girl, why you leave your stuff with that girl?" Right? So she was a tough mom. She made me strong, right? I figured it out. Guess what I did? I re-enlisted. But this time when I got out, I made sure I had my own place. I made sure I registered for college. I made sure I was independent and I didn't depend on anybody. And then I got mad with God a little bit. I said, "I'm a good girl. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. Why is this happening to me?" Because there's lessons learned in life that you are meant to share with the world. So when I'm coaching my people, I said, "Listen, this 5 bedroom house didn't come overnight. I was homeless 40 years ago, and I woke up 40 years later and I own 2 homes," right? But it's a process. But there were trials and tribulations along the way. The lesson I learned was you've got to depend on yourself. You've got to trust in God. You have to have faith and know that you can do anything you want to do. Another trial was when my father passed away. My father, I was a dad girl. My father was my everything.
Mm.
Dr. Pastor Shannon, he came back to me in spirit. I was on the floor crying. I weighed about 98 pounds. I would not eat. I did not sleep. I didn't go to bed. I just, my eyes were so swollen. Tears, there was no more tears left. And a
Wow.
voice came, "Risa, get up.
Mm.
I'm still with you. Now go live in your purpose." I'm looking around like, "Who is that? God?" I'm looking around. That's scary. I got up and I said, it had to be the voice of my father, because the last time I saw him alive was at my graduation from college, my first degree. And he told me that, "You are my only child that went to college and graduated. You're my only girl. This diploma is worth millions. Go take it and go live in your purpose. There is no glass ceiling for you."
Wow.
Dr. Pastor Shannon, I didn't know if I could live. In fact, I think I was intentionally trying to kill myself to
Mm.
be with my dad. But when that voice came,
That
people
was
say, "What motivates you?" My dad. My dad motivates me. My dad had an 8th grade education, but the wisdom of a sage.
Woo!
The reason why I am here today. My diploma is over here on my wall. He was the last person to touch. I made sure when he touched my diploma, I put it in a plastic bag and told the person that framed it, "Put on some gloves, because my father's gonna be the last one to touch my diploma." So
Wow.
I've had some trials and tribulations. That's just 2.
Woo! That's so powerful, powerful, powerful. Now you do a event and you honor people. Last time it was over 100 people. I know that that you honored. Talk to us about how that came about and was birthed.
God, God. I was at a brunch in Las Vegas 3 years ago. This is my 4th year. So 3.5 years ago, it was New Year's Day. People make New Year's resolution. I pray to God, "God, what is my next?" And the vision came to me. You need to have a global summit. It needs to be virtual so everybody in the world can watch it, and it needs to be free. So my annual Passion Purpose Peace Summit was birthed during my prayer to God, New Year's Day 2021. Okay. And I've been doing it ever since. I listen. I'm obedient. I'm obedient.
Wow, I like that. I listen and I'm obedient so that we can do it. And now, what about speaking? What caused you to step out of the boat and begin to speak? And where was what was your first stage, or what was the first time you spoke?
Like my great grandmother said, my voice is my gift. I was speaking in elementary school. I was doing plays in high school. I was a speech and theater major for my first degree.
So you
But
can
my
act,
first
you know how to do all that.
was student council. I was running for student council, and I had to give a speech to let them vote for me, and I won the student council seat. So that was my first speech. But since I've been working on peace, it was when my students passed away. And I had to speak in a church. One of my students, and I just met him, he could have played NFL ball. He was, oh my God. President Barack Obama said, every life must be given a chance to reach its full potential, that every life mattered. That football player, I met him for 15 minutes in the hallway. I knew his gift and passion and purpose. And when I told him to go to class, one tear rolled down my cheek. I said, uh-oh, something is going on. And by the time I went back to my office, I was in full-blown tears. 2 weeks later, I got the call that he was murdered. And his mother said, would you please speak at the church at his funeral? I said, ma'am, I knew your son only for 15 minutes. I talked to him, but I knew his gift, I knew his passion, and I knew his purpose. Now, they give you 2 minutes. They gave me 20. Okay. And when I spoke at that funeral, the pastor said, that's your calling.
That was your calling. Wow. Well, listen, everybody, we're going to take a quick break right now because I told you got to lean in because she was going to be dropping it down 24 karat gold bars. I told you, inspirational. I know, engaging. She's got it. All right. That's why she's the ambassador of peace. But I want you to now get the book. All right. If you have not got the book, called Sacred Success. We've released this book in December because if you find your purpose, that's what this book is about. It's the roadmap that you don't have to just chase money. You don't have to chase materialism. I promise you, if you find your purpose, if you find what your life was designed for, money will show up, right? Listen, this is the roadmap. We call it unlocking God-given prosperity because you can align with God's divine plan and step boldly into your divine inheritance. If you're ready to embrace a true prosperity and live a life of purpose and impact that you're adding to people's life daily, you need to get this book, right? You need to have it in your library, no doubt about it. All right, get it today. Scan the QR code, go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, or you can also get it right here, scan it on the website. Okay, thank you so much. Also, we're excited about our new project called The Process of Change is Now. We're teaching people how to deal with change. If you do not master that mindset, that changes is going to happen. Don't you dare. You heard Dr. Theresa say many people are living in the past because they don't understand about change. We are in the fourth industrial revolution, and it is moving rapidly, quickly. AI, technology, robots, all of that is moving at the speed of AI, and you need to be up on top of it right away. Get this book. The Process of Change is Now. Listen, Blockbuster, gone when they could have been here. Netflix, they could have bought them. They said, no, Netflix is going to be gone. Netflix is here. And Netflix is putting out movies. They're the number one platform for streaming. You better get this book. Don't you dare sit down, make the changes, and make them now.
I am Her Excellency Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, and you are listening to Leading from the Future with Pastor Dr. Anthony D. Shannon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, where we are back. Listen, we're back with the one and only Dr. Theresa A. Moseley. You know, her voice is her gift. She uncovered it. She uncovered the purpose. She's an ambassador of peace, and now she's traveling around the world. Talk to us about when you started doing international speaking and how you wasn't afraid, you wasn't scared, none of that. You just stepped into it. How did that come about?
I was called. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, I've looked at your platform. I see what you're doing. You're the only person that I know that's talking about leadership and peace together. Would you come to Paris and speak at our women's conference?" And from there, I went to another conference and then another conference. And once you go and you start networking, opportunities happen. This year, I've been in India speaking. I had an audience of 1,200 people in India this year.
1,200 people? Wow.
Yes, and I just came off a boat speaking in Mexico. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a networking. And people, you know, they see your platform, they see what you're doing, and they want to be a part of it, and they want to learn more.
How many countries you think you've been to now?
Oh my gosh. I've been to almost every country. What am I missing? Maybe I've been to South America, North America, Canada, China. I haven't been to Japan. I've been to Africa. I've been to Italy, Spain. I'm going back to Italy, Spain, and France in June. Yeah, I get around. I've been to Australia.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I want to get to this question here, and that is, what is the difference between influence and control in leadership?
Influence is about transformational leadership. As a transformational leader, you have inspirational motivation. Your job is to share that vision and mission with your staff and inspire them. That's influence. In transformational leaders, influence. What's the second part of your question? The difference between influence
control in leadership. People like to control.
That's horizontal. That's vertical leadership, which I am totally not for. That's when you have a leader that wants to lead from top down. Now, let me be clear. There are some industries that really need top-down leadership, like manufacturing. They need top-down leadership. Even the military, you need a general top-down, right? But organizations that have CEOs and school, you need horizontal leadership. You need to be an influencer. You need to be a transformational leader. You need to have shared decision-making. If you're in control, you don't normally share anything. You just tell everybody what to do. And that doesn't always work. And I'm the kind of person, I don't need top-down leadership. Tell me what I need to do, and I'll get it done. If I have a question, I'll ask you, right? So with that said, you need to know who your people are. You need to know who's working for you. You need to know who needs direct supervision. And there might be some who does need top-down leadership in your organization. Then you might need to say, you need to do A, B, C, D, and E. Now, repeat what I said, right? But yeah, I'm all about transformational leadership and inspiring people to be more than they even know that they can be. I actually have a training class on that.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for that question.
Thank you. How do you help people develop a mindset for winning when they've been lost or losing and stuck?
The first thing I say is don't listen to the noise. Normally you're stuck because somebody said you can't. Normally you're stuck because you don't think that you can. You have to have a positive mindset, and you need to write. Writing is so cathartic. You need to journal. Write what it is that you want to do, and then write the steps on how you're going to get there. So you have a goal, then you have strategies and activities. Now, here's the key part. You got to monitor what you say you're going to do. Hold yourself accountable. Everybody knows every Sunday, don't contact me at 5 o'clock, because what I'm doing is I'm going through my phone to see, what did I say I was going to do? How did I make it happen? Did I do what I said I was going to do? And what am I doing next week? What did I just say? I just finished a book. I sent it to my editor. at 7:45 today. And that was my goal, to finish that book this week. So just stay focused, have a goal, don't listen to the noise. What is it that you want to do, that you can do, that you would love to do, that you're passionate about? Develop that goal. And also, not just professional goals, personal goals, right? Personal goal, strategies and activities, and monitor it weekly.
I love it. I love it. I love it. She's giving you some. Oh man, I told y'all. That's all I can tell you. All right. I hope that you're paying attention and I hope you're leaning in. Now, there's the deal. Earlier we talked about trust, or you talked about trust in leadership. That's very important, along with integrity. What happens when a leader or a person breaks the trust? How do a person rebuild trust once it has been broken in relationships or the organization?
Well, the first thing, some people is going to leave. They're not going to stay with you.
Mhm.
They don't trust you. They find another job, right? But one way that you can mend that fence, one way that you can establish trust, is just get everyone together and just listen. Don't say anything. I have this formula called AOL: ask, observe, and listen, and see what they need. And then based upon what you hear, then you make decisions about what you need to do. And if you ask people, observe them, and listen to what they're saying, then they might respect you more, right? And so a simple formula, AOL: ask, observe, and listen. Yeah.
Very good. And what about people who are, getting in high levels, high spaces? How do a person stay grounded while operating in these high level spaces?
You have to be humble. You have to be humble. You're here on earth for a mission. God created your soul for a purpose. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the message that I'm bringing to the world. It's about the message that you're bringing. I love your platform, right? Be humble.
Yes.
Be humble. Never lose sight that there's a beginning and the end. Life is but a short road to our ultimate destiny.
Wow.
Be humble. Yeah. Be compassionate and serve others, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Serve others. I love that. And we need more of that. Leaders who, I like how you said, they are always talking about top down, but what about serving? And I love the AOL. That is so powerful. What does legacy mean to you? You're doing a lot and you're building a lot, and you're creating a whole lot for others in your family, and even others that can use as a model. So what does legacy mean to you, and how are you intentionally building it?
Well, the first thing is I'm going to have my first great granddaughter on August the 30th. Talk
Wow.
about legacy. Everything I've been working, everything for my family, but everything I'm doing now is for this young girl. She's going to know who her great grandmother is. She's going to have 4 generations. She's going to have her great grandmother, her grandmother, her mother, and her dad, and her great great grandmother is my mother. But because I knew my mother, this girl is going to know everything about my mother. My great grandmother raised me. She's going to know about her great great grandmother. So conversations, you have to have stories to hand down to your children so they can share. That's what legacy means to me. In 2 weeks, I'm going to North Carolina for our 63rd family reunion. We had the first one, I think, in 1965. That would be 63rd. That's legacy. A lot of kids now, my cousins they don't know about my great great grandmother who was here, right? But we tell stories. We tell stories and we share. Now we have the camera. Now we have the videos. Now we have the phones. So we have technology now. So our legacy really shouldn't be gone anywhere. But also, I think about legacy. I think about generational wealth and leaving a legacy. You always want to make sure that the people that you leave behind are okay, and that you show them. That's why I need to get a couple of your books. I'm going to give them to my grandchildren. You need to show them what they need to do, because when I was growing up, no one taught me how to write a check. No one taught me about a FICO score.
Yeah.
No one taught me about financial literacy. I learned all of that in the military, right?
Yeah.
Even going to college, no one taught me the importance of your grade point average. I was just smart, so I had a good grade point average, right? So legacy is something that I think if you have a cousin, an aunt, a sister, is something that you need to share with your people in terms of stories and just sharing your ideas and sharing your platform so that they can continue what you started.
Wow, that is good. You do a lot and you share a lot and you pour a lot. The question is, how do you pour into others without becoming empty yourself?
Oh, I am so blessed because I'm at peace. Dr. Pastor, I have inner peace. So there's nothing anybody can say or do that's going to mess with my peace. Okay. That's why I wrote this book, Whispers, because I didn't want to tell all my stories. I
Right.
have two people telling, their stories about how I survived a stroke. And this is what I do every day, this mantra to, for my peace. How I go into a corner and listen to classical music. This is what I do for my peace. So with all the, and sometimes I get clients, they're not ready for me because if you have stuff that you have not resolved from childhood, like childhood trauma, you're not ready for coaching. You need a therapist first, right? So that keeps me grounded too, knowing that I can't help everybody. Somebody might need some more professional help with therapy first. And once they resolve those issues, then you can come to me and I can help you with that gift, passion, and purpose and blueprint, accountability and networking and show you how to do some things, right? Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a story. Everybody can write a book. Everybody can share that book. Everybody can train people on whatever you're an expert in. There's so much that we can do on this earth to help others. And it's all about serving others. Yes, there's financial rewards that come behind that. I know, but I feel good, not for the financial reward, but just because I help someone be the best person that they can be. Building the capacity of someone who didn't think that they could is the most important thing to me. And I cry happy tears. Yeah.
I like that. We cry happy tears. Yes, we do. I know I do all the time. People think that leadership or even things that we're doing and you're doing, that it's just easy. What is the cost of leadership that people rarely talk about?
Time. It takes a lot of time to prepare books, to prepare workshops, to train someone how to write a signature speech, to help someone with a business plan. It's a lot. And so you have your business, but then you have your family. Then you have, maybe I'm retired, but you might have another job. You're working as well as your nonprofit. There's time is something that we don't have a lot of. I mean, I think last night I went to sleep at 4:30. Now, I need to that's not the norm for me though. I was on a mission. What did I say? I was going to finish that book.
Indeed.
I finished that book because I'm going to Carolina tomorrow for my 50th New Year reunion, right?
Right.
So I stick to my goals and I do what I have to do. But time is something that it's precious. You can't take back time.
Yeah, time. I love that. And what about this? How important is mentorship?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Mentorship is extremely important, but I want to take it to another level.
Okay.
Parents, guardians, it's your responsibility when that baby is born that you have to love that child and meet their needs. The first virtue that a baby learns is trust.
Wow.
If I cry, they're going to feed me, change me, or hold me but if they don't do that, they don't learn to trust. 1 year old. If they have to go to the bathroom, you train them how to go to the bathroom. But if you beat the child because they're always missing it, I can't do anything right? So when children are being raised, we are raising them to be the adult they're going to turn out to be. So do you know that 98% of all serial killers were unattached children?
Wow.
Now, maybe they didn't have a mother or father. It just means they weren't attached to them. And so as leaders, as uncles and aunts, if we see a child that's struggling with something, we have to help them. And the best way we can help them is, how you feeling? How can I help? What are you passionate about? Do you know what your gift is? And if they don't know and you see it, you might want to share with them. Oh, I think you're really good at this. So I think mentorship is important, but it's more important for adults to start raising their children. And if they did, we won't have all these curfews that we have. You can't be out after 11 o'clock because you're acting crazy, right? So,
Yes.
yes. But mentorship is very important. Once you get to a level, because I've mentored a lot of young people and a lot of adults too. I mentored 2 young ladies on the boat I just came off of, and they're still contacting me right now. So it's so important that we give back. That we
Wow.
give back.
What about discipline? How important is discipline as a leader?
Okay. So when you say discipline, do you mean in terms of organization? Because I'm disciplined when it comes to me organizing my week, my month, my year. Somebody said, Dr. Moseley, how do you do all of this flying and travel? I said, listen, I am organized. I have my information on my phone. I have a handheld book with papers that have everything in case my phone dies. I know where I'm going. And I want to meet all of my goals. So I am disciplined. I do what I say I'm going to do. Okay. And I follow through on everything that I do. And if something doesn't work out, I go back and say, okay, why didn't this work? Right? I always reflect. So I think discipline is very important.
Wow, that is so good. Then here's another question I had, and I was thinking about as well. As leaders, how can leaders create cultures of honor, unity, integrity, and accountability?
That's easy. Become a transformational leader. Teach people to have individual consideration. Teach your leaders. Leaders teach, train leaders too. Train your leaders to be leaders. Have individual consideration, idealized influence, inspirational motivation, and individual consideration. When you provide that to your staff, you're going to have a climate and culture that is positive, where people are going to meet their needs. They're going to meet their goals. They're going to produce whatever product that you have. Have horizontal leadership. Don't sit in your office by yourself. Have an open door policy. Communicate. Don't retaliate. Attack the problem, not the person. Have and be flexible. You had a book about change. That's all about adaptability.
Yes.
You have to be flexible in this world that we live in, right? Just think about it. 50 years ago, we didn't even know there was going to be cybersecurity jobs.
No.
And right now, we're training kids for jobs that we don't even know that's going to exist in 50 years. But what we do know is that we could teach them critical thinking skills, they'll be able to do any job, right? So, yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, listen, we are at the end of this road. I've got 2 more questions that I want to give you before we wrap this up. And the first one is this. If you could, well, let me say it this way, I guess. What is one lesson you wish you learned earlier in your journey?
I wish I would have learned that I can do anything I want to do, and I don't need a partner. I can take care of myself because I was very dependent early on in life. And I learned that I am strong. My mother made me strong. I am independent and I can do anything I want to do. Right. There's sometimes there are brick walls that are there, but they're meant to be knocked down. So now I help other people knock down brick walls.
I love it. And what final word would you leave with leaders who are watching and going to be listening?
One word?
Yeah, one final word. One final word.
Peace.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Peace. And you heard it from the ambassador of peace, Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, ladies and gentlemen. So now tell people how to get in touch with you, how to contact you, how they can get your books, all of that.
My website is links to all of my social media. It's creatingambassadorsofpeace.com. Once again, that's creatingambassadorsofpeace.com. It links to all of my social media sites. My number is there and my email.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know for a fact, if you're listening, if you have heard, then you are inspired. Why don't you go to her website, blow it up, Follow her on all her social medias. And know this, if you ever get stuck, you know who to call, because she's going to talk to you about an inner peace. And you know, she ain't going to beat you up. She's just going to ask you a few questions. And you're just going to tell her, and she's going to pull it out. Next thing you're going to know, you're going to find your passion, and you're going to get to work and add value to life instead of being sad. Do you hear? And if you get sad, she got some affirmations for you that all you got to do is repeat them over and over until you get positive on the inside, and you'll be good on the outside. Well, Dr. Theresa, this has been amazing. This has been fun. Thank you again for your support. Thank you for your words of wisdom. They are definitely 24-karat gold bars. Indeed.
Thank you so much. I forgot to say, my books are on my website. I have a bookstore on my website.
Oh, you have a bookstore.
Yeah, on my website.
Do you have?
I finished 30 books now. 28 are on my website. 2 are being published.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. There it is. She just let you know what all you can do. If you just discipline yourself, organize yourself, you can do it. Cut out the noise. All right. Well, listen, you know, we got to bring her back for part 2, because we didn't get nowhere, Harley, in this thing, because it's just that good. But her journey has been amazing thus far. But there's more to uncover. All right. All right. Well, listen, everybody, I want to say thank you so much for always tuning in, always supporting. I want to also give you that opportunity to support this, because we send it all around the world. The Word Network, TCT, On Stage Plus, Hulu, Roku picks it up, and we're just excited about it. And listen, we're asking you, if you want to support, why don't you support? Send $100, $200, $500, $1,000. You can do it on a Cash App. You can do it on the V Church app. Download on Android, Apple. Download V Church, right? Just so, because we want people to be inspired, we want people to be encouraged, we want people to do what they've been called to do, and we want to bring all of these different amalgamation of backgrounds to inspire you. You might not like me for whatever reason, but you say, boy, he brought on Dr. Theresa. Boy, she hit it. She got it. All right. Somebody else might reach somebody else. But guess what? We're all in it together to get you to your destiny. And I'm so excited. Listen, I also want to encourage you to get my book, Cosmic Collaboration. Everyone born is born for a purpose. Dr. Theresa mentioned Jeremiah 29 in the program. She said that, and quoted, God says, I know the thoughts that I have towards you, thoughts of good and not evil, to bring you to an expected end. I believe cosmic collaboration shows you the blueprint of what God had designed for you. And when you read and understand that all that you need is inside of you because he put it there, it's a blueprint. It's like building a house. You get the blueprint first, the architects come, and then you watch it be built. Well, God created you. He birthed in you. And guess what? He got a blueprint so you can reach your destiny. Get out of the past. Get into the future. Check this book out. It'll blow your mind to know you're one with God, and he has a blueprint for your destiny. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for always supporting. We're so excited. As we always say, we believe that everyone born is born for a purpose. If you find your purpose, you can start living your life. If you start living life, you can leave a legacy. Did you see what Dr. Theresa dropped on you? She said you can start living and you can stay in peace. You don't have to let none of the chaotic mess with you, bother you, because it's internal. Stay home, hungry, humble. Y'all don't hear me, and holistic. All right. And do what you got to do. And we'll see you next time on Leading from the Future. I'm your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon, prophet you can trust. And as the words of Dr. Theresa, peace.
Thank you for joining us on another incredible episode of Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. We've had an amazing journey exploring visionary leadership and inspiring insights. If you're passionate about sharing your story and ideas on our show, we'd love to have you as a guest. Simply reach out to us via email at thevictorychurchint@gmail.com. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we warmly invite you to contribute. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each, as well as 10 contributors with a gift of $526, and 10 supporters donating $224.24. Every donation, regardless of the amount, makes a significant impact. However, as a token of our gratitude, each contributor will receive a personalized prophetic word and an exclusive ebook. You can contribute through 3 convenient ways. The first is Cash App. That's right, $ Anthony D. Shannon, or $ The Victory Church, INT. You can also download the V Church app. Search for us on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Follow the prompts and make your contribution. Whether you contribute $1,000 or any amount, every donation makes a difference. Go ahead and support us today. For more information and to stay connected, please visit leaderslivegenerously.com. We appreciate your support in advancing our mission. Well, thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Join us again next time as we lead from the future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon.